Hello all, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, taped on Twitch, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout, watch a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob who hasn't watched nearly as much wrestling, and your long time coming reckoning that you are somehow still going to learn the wrong lesson from.
Yes, it is, because it is time for it to end Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. The feud where Andre was in the right the entire time.
Andre was always right. Change my mind. Except you can't.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Except you can't. Afraid not. And where does this feud culminate? But where else? At WrestleMania 3. So this is our first WrestleMania of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast.
Yeah. My first WrestleMania ever, actually.
It's true. We've kind of unintentionally avoided them. I've never planned to not avoided WrestleMania feuds before, but part of the problem of WrestleMania is that they're very long.
It is.
So that's always been a bit of a stuff. Yes. In fact, tonight we're only watching half of the matches at WrestleMania 3 as point of proof, which sucks. So, because as for newbies here, is basically we are a limited time to record together, so we only watch about 2 hours worth of any pay-per-view that we watch. And so I have taken the liberty of constructing a 2-hour version of WrestleMania 3 that hopefully hits all the important parts.
It dawns on me too that we must, of the podcasts of the world that kind of run on a standard time, we must be one of the ones that take the longest time to record, because you look at your fucking my brother and Mises and your musical splainins, and their shit either runs an hour of just them talking about shit, or they are a media reviewing podcast, but their episodes will run for less than an hour. We go hard. I hope all the fucking people listening appreciate the dedication, the drive, the power.
We talk too much. Yes.
Look, okay, I tried to make it sound noble. You can work with me here.
I'll try. So kind of WrestleMania, for the people who might not know, admittedly, that's probably most people watching, but for posterity, WrestleMania is basically the event on the WWE calendar, coming up every single spring. It basically was born out of, as most old WWE pay-per-views were, sticking it to Jim Crockett.
Of course.
Jim Crockett Promotions, the predecessor to WCW, WWE's greatest rival of all time, had their Super Show Starrcade in 1983. And WWE was like, what if we did a Super Show? And so in 1985, they did WrestleMania. Now, that wasn't the first name that came up with. That is by the legend of WrestleMania says that Howard Finkel, the ring announcer, came up with the idea. And Vince McMahon's first idea was, of course, the Colossal Tussle.
Okay. Thanks, Vince.
Yeah, glad we didn't go with that one.
Yeah, WrestleMania is feels fucking iconic, That was a brilliant move.
Great
right there.
name. Yeah. And so 1985, the idea, basically, if you watch WrestleMania 1, it feels a lot like the Madison Square Garden shows that WWE was doing on a regular basis that was already serving as their kind of big shows on their calendar. The biggest difference being they had celebrity cameos. Anchored by Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper being involved in the biggest matches on the show. And it wasn't on pay-per-view, it was on closed circuit TV. Pay-per-view wasn't really a thing in 1985. Closed circuit TV was basically where you went to a theater and you watched the show broadcast to the theater. And
that's cool, honestly.
It is. And as pay-per-view became more popular, they obviously phased out the practice. But these first 4 or 5 WrestleManias, I believe, were available on closed circuit. So the first WrestleMania, according to WWE lore, Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon put a ton of money into this show, and if it hadn't succeeded, they would have went out of business. Now, that's their story. I can't confirm it.
I somehow doubt it. This sounds like one of those things Vince would make up to, like, tell us a big fish story. Like, I give Vince shit for a lot of things. That man is a ruthlessly smart businessman in a lot of ways. No way in hell he would go sink or swim on something as experimental as WrestleMania 1. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I can't confirm or deny it with any official sources. It seems like everyone just kind of goes along with the story and no one's ever really questioned that. So I couldn't tell you if it's real or not. I just feel it's important to tell as part of the lore.
Fair enough.
Anyway, WrestleMania 1, though, was a smashing success for the company, and so they decided to keep doing it again. So then WrestleMania 2 happened, and it was successful, but also a dumpster fire.
I've heard bad things about Wrestle 2.
WrestleMania 2 is the worst WrestleMania ever, in my opinion. Other people will tell you WrestleMania is 9, 11, or 27. I disagree. I argue it's 2. And the reason for that is because there is no good matches on the show. A lot of people like to give the earliest 2 WrestleManias. They're a bit weird to watch, all right? Because the style of wrestling at the time is very different from what you see now, and it's hard to properly apply modern standards to the early WrestleManias. That having been said, fuck that. WrestleMania 2 sucked. There's not a single good match on that show. And there is absolutely no other WrestleMania I can say that about. Therefore, it's the worst in my book. And I've seen all of them. But the thing that really made it fail as an enterprise was they decided they were gonna go bigger than what they did at WrestleMania 1. So what they did is they put it in 3 different venues. The first hour of the show took place at Madison Square Garden. The second hour of the show took place in the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, and the third took place in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And if you were a live attendee of the show, basically you got to see 1 hour of live wrestling, and the other times you're watching a monitor.
Oh.
Watch the other 2/3 of the show.
Wait. Now that I think about it, that's really fucking dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb. And it basically also made the production terrible because WWE didn't have 3 people who could like run production to adequate standards. They had a bunch of guest commentators and they were all bad.
Oh no.
I think the best of them might have been Elvira in LA, but other than that, they
got Elvira? That's so dope.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the number of celebrities who have been involved in WrestleMania is actually kind of wild. A lot of, especially the 80s sets of names.
Damn.
So WrestleMania 3, they scrapped that idea, and instead they are just going to go for the biggest show possible. In this case, filling out in the Silver Dome in Detroit, in Pontiac, Michigan.
Yeah, baby!
They're at the Silver Dome, and it is one of the largest attended crowds in WWE history. And for the longest time was the highest attended they've ever had.
Nice.
According to them, it's over 93,000. That is a lie that they snuffed. They kind of fudged the number so they could give themselves the highest ever for an entertainment event. But they still did like 85,000 or something like that.
That's still impressive.
They did an impressively high number, but they had to just fudge the numbers just so they could have to say that we had the highest number ever for anything. Go fuck yourself.
God damn it. Of course. See, this is why I didn't fucking believe the first part, because Vince lies about this shit all the time to aggrandize himself.
Yeah. Carney's gonna carny, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Pinocchio ass motherfucker.
Yeah. So, I don't really have any bits Normally during this part of the show, I talk about, well, how have the stories advanced since the last time we were here? They really haven't. As has been a regular feature of this arc for this show, is this kind of realization that we are in the 80s. And in the 80s, storytelling-wise, in terms of pacing and structure, you do the stuff to get to the match being made official. And then after that, nothing really happens.
Yeah, one could argue that the story really hasn't advanced for the past, 2 or 3 times we've done this arc.
Yeah,
it was because it was like episode 2, I think, of this arc where the match became official, and then the other.
Episode 3. The first time was the trophy stuff. The second time was
will you do this? Yes. Third time was contract signing, and then fourth time spinning our fucking wheels.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I consider contract signing story progression. It was the same shit. It was just made super duper extra business official.
Everything you truly needed to know happened in the first 2 parts of this.
2 parts. This fucking era. All the rest was just great little filler bits of Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan arguing.
Yeah. So do I have anything to mention? No. So instead, what I'm going to do is we're going to run down the 12 match card. And that's another thing, is these early WrestleManias, they stuffed these cards to get as many matches in here as they could. Yeah, and so a lot of them are short. So that also means the big matches take up a lot of time. And that's why we're only watching 6 out of 12, even though we're covering 2 of the 3 hours of WrestleMania 3. Yeah. Because they fit 6 other matches in that leftover hour. Mm-hmm. So the first match that we are not going to watch is the Can-Am Connection, Rick Martel and Tom Zink. We've talked about them a little bit. One of them is American. One of them is Canadian. They like celebrating both those countries.
Yep.
And they are very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Taking on Bob Orton and the magnificent Don Morocco, who are just yeah, I don't really have anything to say about them. The next match we're going to skip, and there are 2 matches here that we are skipping that I wish we weren't, because we covered a lot of their plots during these episodes, and it felt wrong to miss the payoff. Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules in the Battle of the Full Nelson.
Oh, God. Oh, God, no.
We've watched these guys full Nelson eat each other for so long, and we don't even get to see the payoff.
Their Nelsons are so full. Some might say their Nelson runneth over.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting a good match out of it or anything, but again, it's the principle of the matter.
We do these things on principle, damn it.
Yeah. The third match, and that we are not going to watch, Hillbilly Jim, Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver versus King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook.
Oh, the mixed tag
match, because so named because Hillbilly Jim and King Kong Bundy can wrestle each other. The Little People wrestlers, the other 4, can wrestle each other. They cannot intermingle.
These are the talls. These are the shorts. They don't mix.
Yeah, so we're not watching that one.
Great. I'm so disappointed. Oh, darn.
Yeah. Here is a match that we are going to watch that, to be honest, I just really wanted to see, okay?
Fair.
It's probably the least justified match here when I was thinking back on it. But also, some of this was about filling in a 2-hour gap, trying to fit a 2-hour block. So Harley Race versus the Junkyard Dog in a loser must bow match. The reminder, Harley Race is the king, and Junkyard Dog is like, this is America. We don't have no kings here. I'm a dog. And so the loser of the match must bow to the winner by stipulation.
As you do.
Okay, the next match that we are going to watch that literally was just in here because it fits under 10 minutes, and I needed something that was under 10 minutes to fill this out. The Dream Team of Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake versus Jacques and Raymond, the Rougeau brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, remember the Dream Team, Greg Valentine, the Hammer, takes 15 minutes to warm up.
Oh God! I always forget that's him because like that's such a I
He
don't
never
know.
wrestles for 15 minutes as well.
Yeah, he never gets to fully warm up. Oh wait, no, this is under 10 minutes. He won't be able to warm up. Ah!
Yeah, this is bad. And then Brutus Beefcake, the soon-to-be barber.
Oh
Ed
yeah.
Leslie, he's great. Yeah, this is actually kind of paying off something because this story progresses the bit where like we had the match with the Dream Team and Adrian Adonis, and Adonis accidentally started cutting hair. Got his
and it begins the transition to the barber.
Yeah, and then of course Jacques and Raymond, they are French Canadian.
Oh no. We must hate them because they are foreigners and they're pompous foreigners. Boo.
Oh, they're actually the baby faces here because Valentine and Beefcake are heels.
Oh, I always think that the barbershop turn is a heel turn and not a face turn.
No, it's a face turn.
Fuck. I'm so deeply surprised.
If we ever do an arc with Brutus Beefcake, we can talk about how kind of unbabyface it is to forcibly cut people's hair. But
okay,
he is a babyface.
You told me about this. Yeah, okay. No, I'm just deeply surprised that in the 80s we can simultaneously have a tag team that goes ha ha and is also babyface.
Yeah, impressive. Really progressive for the time.
So progressive. Good job, Vince. Really pushing the envelope.
Yeah. All right, match number 6. We are watching this one. The hair versus hair match. Roddy Piper versus Adrian Adonis.
Yes.
We did not watch the Roddy Piper retirement video for me to not see this match.
Oh man. Yeah, that. I feel like knowing about They Live kind of spoils the ending of this match for me, but I still look forward to seeing Adonis go baldy boy.
Yeah. So next up, we get the 6-man tag match: Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation versus Tito Santana and the British Bulldogs.
Oh,
Our boy Danny Davis is getting in the ring.
Yes, this is one I've been so fucking excited because I'll give this era this. Fucking throwing a crooked ref in ring feels fucking unprecedented, and I have no idea what this is gonna look like. So I'm actually really hyped for this one.
I am very excited too to get to see this again. The next at match number 8, we are skipping this one. Butch Reed versus Coco Beware.
Okay.
Coco the Birdman. Butch Reed is the one that hangs out with Reverend Slick. They don't like each other, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, sure, why not? Yeah, whatever.
It's not a very well developed story. I don't really know.
Damn, if only we had some extra time in the lead up to this to develop more of the stories whose matches we were gonna see. Damn, didn't have time. What are you gonna fucking do, right?
Yeah. All right. Then the match we are definitely gonna see, match number 9. The Intercontinental Championship match: Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat.
Oh yeah, the build up has been wild.
It's been
Spears
something.
have been thrown. Boats have been steamed. Cringe has been posted. These are two men just gearing up for a blood battle for the ages. I can tell.
This feud has truly had it all, I think.
It's all two emotions in pro wrestling: anger and violence. Yeah,
incredible.
It's amazing, the range on these men.
The next match we are going to skip, and man, I tried so hard to fit this in because I wanted it, but I couldn't make it work.
Okay.
The Honky Tonk Man versus Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, Christ. You know what? I actually am sad we're missing that, just because both of them, the two of them together, seem a weird pairing.
We had the Honky Tonk Man heel turn when he El Kabonged Jake Roberts with the guitar.
Oh, yeah. Jake Roberts is also somehow a face in this era, too.
Yeah. In fact, he is such a face that when I talk about celebrity cameos, is Jake Roberts is being accompanied to the ring by Alice Cooper.
Okay, fair enough. That actually kind of makes sense.
And Jake Roberts is, of course, threatening to take his snake, his big, girthy snake, and put it all over the Honky Tonk Man.
Thank you, Jake Roberts.
And Alice Cooper is going to help.
Oh, I'm sure Alice Cooper is all about putting that girthy snake.
All right. Match 11, the last one that we're going to skip. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov versus the Killer Bees.
Oh, okay. I am excited to see like one of the most legendary tag teams ever in action for the first time.
And then the Killer Bee, and then Iron Sheik and Volkov are there too.
You're right. You know, when I think of tag teams that have gone down in history, Nikolai Humph, Iron what? Nah, man. The Killer Bees with their fucking modern-ass looking black and yellow Skechers. Those are the two. They stand at the pinnacle. As some lesser wrestler whose name I can't fucking remember once said, the Cream rises to the top. Or in this case, if you will, the Bees buzz to the top.
Of course. And I said we're skipping that one. We're not watching that tag match.
Wait, we're not watching? Fuck! Oh no!
No, it's the most fillery match on this show. It has no story whatsoever. They just did it. But then
you're gonna let me see Volkov and Sheik together. It's gonna happen.
I'll work on it. And then the final match of the show, the main event that we are definitely going to watch. Are you kidding me? Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
And we've been here for the greatest arc that WWE didn't tell of Hulk Hogan being a toxic friend that is an egomaniacal piece of shit, and Andre gaining some self-respect and getting away from Hogan and challenging him for the title that Andre deserves a shot at because he's been unbeaten for 15 years.
Yeah, this has been one of the most compelling stories I think we have ever followed on this podcast. The layers that exist, the emotional depths that the storytelling goes to, and yet somehow it wasn't fucking even written to be like that. We have discovered such a deep, layered, nuanced, riveting story at the heart of all of this, and you're not even supposed to look at it that way. No. How the fuck did Vince and Co. accidentally write one of the most damning character pieces on Hulk Hogan of all time and have it just not actually be that way on purpose? How do you just fucking stumble into this is incredible to me. I am unironically, like, this is one of my favorite stories we have followed. I'm not even memeing right now. Unironically, because of like the layer peeled back underneath that Austin and I have discovered in this story. It's compelling beyond words, dear God.
It's incredible having watched Hulk Hogan's descent into doubling down, where he went from despondent that Andre would betray him, man, to then he got mad about it. And then in the most recent episode, he then also blamed Andre for betraying the children.
This is so
perfectly fully framing him in his mind as having been the bad guy the whole time.
I don't understand. Like, they wrote just a chilling depiction of a toxic friendship corroding into nothingness. And it wasn't even on purpose. Oh, God. Yeah. I'm going to have way more to say on this in the back half. But just as a lead up, I just need to remind everybody how harrowing this specific tale is. And I mean, we all know this. If you don't know this, welcome to Wrestling Booking 101. This ain't gonna have a happy ending, folks. At least not a happy ending.
Not as the way we have defined it, no.
Story, not the actually written story.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only one way this story ends. And and we all know it, and we are dreading it. We run from it. But Hulkamania arrives all the same, brother.
I am inevitable, brother. Christ. God. Oh, man. I'm ready. I've been stealing myself for this forever. I think we just have to do this.
Yep. It's time to go. And if you would like to watch along, you can do so at Peacock, WWE's American streaming partner, for $9.99 a month with ads, $9.99 a month without ads gets you all of WWE's streaming library. If you're outside of the US, you can still use the WWE Network at $9.99 American dollar dues. Or you can go on YouTube. I guarantee that WWE has put up Andre Hogan on YouTube in full by this point. Probably Steamboat Savage too, to be honest. That's another famous match from this show. We'll get there. But for now, we will see you guys in the back half to talk more about WrestleMania 3.
Later.
And we are back. We have just finished 2/3 of WrestleMania 3.
There sure was wrestling. There sure was a lot of mania in a lot of different ways.
There was at least 3 of them.
There were at least 3 wrestlings and 3 manias. I counted them very specifically.
I think it fits. I think the name works.
I mean, I'm just saying. Have you ever heard of the rule of 3s? Makes you think.
Yeah, it's why WrestleMania 2 was a major success. Rule of 3 is a rule of 3 the venues.
No, but they mismatched it. They tried to do the 3 with the 2. The math doesn't line up. Big Papa Pump is not pleased. That would explain why it went so wrong.
3 does not equal 2.
3 does not, as you can see, 3 does not equal 2. It is mathematically impossible. They tried to mess with the great truths of the universe, and it was ultimately their downfall. But this time, we got straight 3s, baby. 3s all the way. Mm-hmm. Mania is even 3 syllables. What can I say? It couldn't be more perfect.
Yep, great. 3 Beautiful. Is a magical number, and yes, it is. And I am gonna say is that, like, for my take, WrestleMania 3 is, I would call that the first good Mania.
I thought it was pretty enjoyable event overall.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think that I talked about the first 2 WrestleManias feel very dated, and even the stuff, the parts of that are good, you're like, oh yeah, this is 1985 for sure. I feel like WrestleMania 3 as a show overall, as someone who's rewatched it tonight and has seen the entire show multiple times actually, I think that it's a show that you can actually still go back and watch and still find enjoyable.
Yeah, I enjoyed what we watched. I think it had a lot of, like, really good stuff coming into it that just bolstered the material that we saw in this particular bout. There was a lot of They used some of their strongest players. They used some really great storylines and things that were able to resonate with the crowd in such a way that I think are kind of timeless. I didn't lose effect on a lot of this stuff watching it in 2022.
Yeah,
despite it being almost 40 years old now as an event.
Yeah.
35
years exactly.
Yeah, and even the stuff that I do require a bit more context to understand and get into, they use some of their more iconic players for that as well. Like, I think of Harley Race versus Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog is just one of your best guys you could have thrown in for an event like this in this era, period. So throwing him into a match at Mania was a phenomenal choice. And as someone like me who's seen very little of him, but instantly understood his appeal, I think that was a great element to throw in. A lot of really strong things. My kind of main complaint with this one is mostly just that there are too many shenanigans. You made this comment as we were watching, but this is not a Mania of clean matches for the most part.
No, there's not. Okay, and that's going to be even more apparent when I read the results of the other matches. I talk about the other matches we didn't watch, and those are even worse than what we saw.
God.
Okay, so let's just go in order here. Easiest way to do it. But we start with Vince McMahon, introducing the crowd, introducing the show, and he goes, "Welcome to WrestleMania 3." And that call, this show is filled with iconic calls and announcements and sound bites. And there's the first one is "Welcome to WrestleMania." They usually cut off the 3 so they can use it kind of evergreen.
Yeah.
But that call from Vince is absolutely super iconic, and they use that clip all the time.
Damn, that's cool.
But then he introduces Aretha Franklin, who sings "America the Beautiful."
Oh, slay queen. It's kind of standard fare stuff for getting the pre-match Murica song with a celebrity, but I mean she's great. Come on. Yes. You love to see it.
Absolutely. And then we get introduced to the commentating team of Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse the Body Ventura, and kind of popping in throughout the night, you get Bob Uecker and Mary Hart. And I'll have more to say about them in the 6-man tag match. But overall, I just kind of liked their energy, and they felt enthusiastic to be there.
Mary Hart seems super happy to be here. It did crack me up. Gorilla seemed to really be struggling to remember where the hell Mary Hart was from from the media standpoint. He's like, and here we have Mary Hart, who's from, as you all know,
tonight. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really got a kick out of that. Gorilla has no idea what the hell Entertainment Tonight is. He looks like he's reading off a phantom teleprompter.
Yeah, there's a cue card. There's a cue card right there, and he's looking at it.
Gorilla, but they can't fucking go back and forth with Gorilla. Word by word, Entertainment Tonight. What does that say? Entertainment tonight. What? We're stone cold when you need them. What?
Entertainment Tonight, son.
Yeah. No, but seriously, Mary Hart seems so happy to be here. It's adorable.
Yeah, it's great. So the first match of the night that we didn't watch, the Can-Am Connection, they beat Bob Orton Jr. and the Magnificent Morocco. It kind of was pretty out. That was actually very straightforward. The Can-Am Connection just won the match.
Nice.
Well, good for them. Then we get Hercules and Billy Jack Haynes. We didn't watch this match, but we got a hint of it when Bobby Heenan showed up on commentary. So we got at least some idea of what happened. But what ended up happening is they were fighting, and eventually Bobby Heenan attacked Billy Jack Haynes. But Billy Jack Haynes applied the full Nelson to Hercules, and then they just stayed out there for the entire rest of the match and got double counted out.
Why?
So he just had to prove his superiority of his full Nelson lock.
Sure.
And then Hercules hit him in the face with a chain.
Sure.
It's a little dumb, yeah. Then King Kong Bundy, the mixed tag match, King Kong Bundy, Lord Littlebrook, and Little Tokyo versus Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver. The match ends when the thing they kept saying King Kong Bundy might do, he did. In that he took Little Beaver and he body slammed him and then dropped an elbow to his chest. And that's a DQ. And that's the end.
Cool.
They run off, Hillbilly and them run off the heels. But that's the match.
Good to know that this show truly believes in equal opportunity for all of its workers.
It's going great. But let's finally get to a match we actually watched. You know what? No. Before that, there was the interview with Mary Hart.
Mary Hart is standing with Miss Elizabeth, and I got so happy because I'm like, fuck, we got wholesome queens here. And Elizabeth,
I don't know what you expected to happen.
I like to give myself delusions because I hate myself. Mary Hart is standing with Elizabeth, and they just look so eager. And she's like, "I'm here with the fabulous Miss Elizabeth. Oh, it's so wonderful to see you, darling. And of course, speaking of toxic relationships, who the fuck shows up? But
and here comes Randy.
And here comes Randy, the motherfucker savage.
To immediately interject himself into the conversation.
Yeah, and Mary is having. I feel like Mary and Jean need to get together, have a little bit of a powwow about how much of a thorn in their side all these egomaniacal wrestlers are, because she's just not having it. She's like, well, actually, I was kind of hoping to have a kind of oh no,
why you talk about me? Yeah. Talk to me, you're there treating.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get out there.
My favorite thing about this though is once Randy Savage has made it clear that he is in fact not going away, Mary Hart turns to Elizabeth and goes, Is it always this way? And Elizabeth just gives this fucking deeply nervous smile of
like, yeah, she got that smile on her face to suggest that yes, it is.
She got like hostage eyes, just like, Elizabeth, blink twice if you need help, okay? It was so funny. She just doesn't even answer. She knows if she answers, she's getting dooted. That was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And so Savage drags her away from the interview. Yeah. And that's that, even though nothing really happened.
Very hard to like.
It's like, okay.
Very cool, Savage. Thank you.
But all right, now we get to King Harley Race versus the Junkyard Dog.
Yes, we get promo segments before the match starts, and like you were talking about, Junkyard Dog seems to take issue with this idea of a monarch in America. I got very much well, I didn't vote for you vibes. He literally says something like last I checked, we don't got kings here in America. Something like that.
Only person I bow to the man upstairs.
Yeah. It just gave me big anarcho-syndicalist commune vibes, which is great. Sure. And then we cut over to King, and fucking Moolah's here. Hey,
the fabulous Moolah is here, looking meh to be here.
Yeah, I literally turned to Austin. I'm like, she doesn't look happy to be here. Austin, why does she look happy to be? She looks like she's here under duress, because I guess since she's the queen of wrestling, she's got to be the one to crown the king when he wins.
Right. Yeah, and then old JYD is now his interview. He's now like, I'm gonna get that crown. I'm the king. That sounds pretty good around the dog.
Yeah, wait, hold up a second. Monarchy for me, but not for thee. Junkyard, what are your ethics here, buddy?
I don't know. I guess if I had to try to give an explanation, they showed this bit that at one point he stole Harley Race's King's gear to fuck with him. So he put it on, and now he is tempted by the power.
Oh God, it's like the Ring of Power.
It is. It's like the One Ring. Yes.
Junkyard Dog be like, got him.
So they come out.
Also, fucking Mr. Baseball over here.
Oh
is horny as shit for Moolah.
Yeah. Okay. So Uecker was on commentary during the Bundy gym stuff.
Yeah.
So he was on commentary at that point. But then he sees the fabulous Moolah, and he just goes insane. He's like, "Oh man, I see why you guys are here all the time. Woo! I gotta go find Moolah."
I'm getting echoes here. Why must his spirit always haunt me?
At least it's just Uecker.
Yeah, I know. That was, but yeah. So he's weirdly horny for Moolah, and Gorilla and Jesse are just kind of concerned vaguely about Moolah's well-being when it comes to Bob Uecker for the rest of the evening.
I guess they figure Moolah can handle it
during the match. But also, if we want to talk about fucking prototype Jerry Lawler's out here, this is literally just like Jerry Lawler's shtick and aesthetic 10 years earlier. He's just the king. Why do we just keep having like king figures? Why there's always got to be a king?
I'm pretty sure Jerry Lawler did the king stuff before King of the Ring was a thing. I'd have to check on that.
But
like he was doing that stuff in Memphis. I don't know when that started. Pretty sure he was. Yeah.
I thought the impression I got, and this is obviously from much less solid knowledge than you, was that he was actually kind of more straightforward in his territory days. But I could be entirely wrong.
I mean, in Memphis he was a babyface, and so that played a part. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he kept some of the king stuff. I think he started doing some of the king stuff in Memphis.
That's fair.
I have to look more into that.
I can see that. But either way, well, there's always got to be a king, though, because it's fucking Harley Race and it's Jerry Lawler, and now it's not Shinsuke, but it's whoever the hell Shinsuke stole the crown from a little bit. There's always got to be some other.
It was Baron Corbin. Well, right now it's Xavier Woods because he won the King of the Ring.
Oh shit! New Day getting some gold still. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough.
But yeah, it's just the king archetypes is this one that very popular to use.
I guess, sure, why not? Regardless, yeah. So that's the setup as is. We get to the match proper, and there are shenanigans here too.
Yeah, Heenan interferes almost immediately.
Heenan is fucking shameless, dude. He's just coming in trying to grab Junkyard Dog's leg.
He don't give a shit. He's just gonna go for it.
Man, this whole episode really made me eat my words with Heenan. Where is my good?
You should save that for the next match.
Well, yeah, but like just as a setup, where did my good principled boy go? Where is he?
He never existed. He only had the moral high ground on Hogan.
Oh, I did not want him to be a figment of my. Turns out he was an imaginary friend this whole time. Yeah, so some dumb bullshit's going down. Junkyard's trying to play a fair game, mostly because he doesn't have anyone to cheat on his behalf.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah,
I don't think Junkyard. I get the feeling Junkyard wouldn't be above that if he had the opportunity.
I mean, nobody is in this era, really.
That's fair. Even if you're a face, you're still a gigantic asshole, as we've well learned.
Yeah, so I liked the match well enough for how long it was. I thought they were coming out swinging. I thought they had good body language and they were kind of fun together.
Yeah, but it for me it was like disappointingly short. And again, the shenanigans kind of ruin it. Like if you're gonna have JYD out there, I want to see a really strong showing from JYD. Really,
that's true. He really didn't do any of his signature bits. Like he does like bit, but his headbutt. He didn't do a lot of the headbutt bits that he usually does.
Yeah,
it was pretty too short for me.
I remember far more of our first JYD showing that we ever saw than this.
Yeah.
Just because I got this very strong feel for who he was as a character and a worker really quick. It just felt like they were whatever. It does, which I didn't see this coming, and with Harley Race retaining his crown, and Junkyard bow or curtsies a little bit, and he does a little
and then he does bow.
Just a little baby bow, but then Race of course gets up to gloat, and JYD hits him with a chair. Yeah, this was a show of baby faces got to get the heat back, as they say. This is very common in older shows of like baby faces always got to stand tall at the end in some way. Like you can't just have the heel be the winner and that's that. I mean, it seems like they all. Well, I guess you could do moral high ground because I mean I have seen in this era spots of the heel doing a post loss attack.
Sure, sometimes, but especially for a big show like WrestleMania, good guys winning only.
Good guys winning, even if it's in spirit only.
Yeah, Yep, no, good. Now that's how this goes. But yeah, okay. So the match ends when Harley Race, Bobby Heenan interferes with the JYD, and then Race hits a belly-to-belly suplex, and then just wins. And I was like, whoa, yep. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And
why
then,
not?
But yeah, we already covered everything that happened there. But JYD walked off with the King's robes and rode away with it, and Harley Race is just standing there mad the whole time.
Yeah, he's oh man, he don't like that. Oh well.
You can go.
Oh well, poor bugger, move on.
Yeah, then after that we get a Hulk Hogan promo with Vince McMahon, where Hogan is just doing his shouty. Yeah, it is.
Wait, what is my?
He has another promo later.
Wait. There's one more thing from this match, because I thought for some reason this was the next match, but I guess it happened here. Gorilla made some comment. If we're talking about shenanigans,
he did do the Pearl Harbor job line.
Pearl Harbor gets tossed around a lot these days.
Okay, yeah. So just so people know, is that one of Gorilla Monsoon's biggest commentary catchphrases is when somebody attacks somebody suddenly and from behind. He uses the phrase Pearl Harbor job to describe it.
Why does he have
sneak attack from behind?
Why does he have such a Pearl Harbor complex? That's so what? I just feel like that's in such poor taste. I know it's fucking 50 years later, but it feels like such poor taste,
I guess the question is at what point are we? Well, that's a good question. Is at what point are we allowed to call a 9/11 job? At what point does that become acceptable?
I can't wait for that day on the wrestling commentary for someone to say, "Man, that was a real 9/11 job right there."
Yeah. But yeah, he does say that then, and I caught him saying it again during the Savage.
Yeah, but wait, what did he even say that for? Because I think that was after the decision. That was after the match was done.
I'm pretty sure he said that about JYD hitting him with the chair.
Well, no, because he wouldn't have said that.
That one he said he crowned him. We crowned him with the chair.
He crowned him. Jesse's oh, God damn it.
No, he didn't say it. I don't remember the exact context for the Pearl Harbor.
Because I literally
I know that happened.
I have in my notes, that was it, question mark, and then I have, why does Gorilla Monsoon have such a Pearl Harbor complex? I don't know.
Oh, I think he probably said that to describe the Bobby Heenan interference.
Oh, they were watching a replay or something.
Yeah, I think they showed the replay.
Yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah. So that's Pearl Harbor number 1 of the night, folks. It won't be the last.
Won't be the last.
But yeah, Vince and Hogan.
Hogan is in his shoutiest, and to be honest, I thought I was going to remember more of what insane shit he was saying in this promo, but then he gets crazier later, so I actually don't remember a whole lot of it.
Okay, Hogan here is constructing some fucking near-deific imagery of himself about how he's
now I remember what he's talking about, of the last stand. This is people. I was done hanging and banging.
Yeah.
He
fucking all these shout-outs to the Hulk rules lyrics.
Hanging and banging is his terminology for lifting weights, if you don't know.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah. So he's riding his motorcycle, and people telling him, "Man, this is the last ride of Hulk Hogan." And he's talking about how, all I have to do is I just have to beat the 7'5", 500-pound giant. But you, Andre, you have to beat all the Hulkamaniacs in the world.
Yeah. And he's talking about he's gonna teach Andre the purest truth, which what the fuck? He's rambling. He's incoherent. This is deranged. I was legitimately terrified. This man has gone completely off his rocker on a complete dissociative ego trip to the goddamn moon just to avoid thinking about the fact that maybe he's a shitty friend.
Yep, pretty much, yes. Next up, we have the Dream Team, Brutus Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine versus the Rougeau brothers, Jacques and Raymond.
Yep, which I learned tonight that Jacques Rougeau goes on to be the Mountie. Thank you for that little bit of trivia.
He does.
Also, this was the match where I explicitly noticed / had pointed out to me that the Federettes.
Yes, the Federettes. They got the ring attendants, because I don't think we explained this, but the ring, the walkway to the ring is extremely long. And so almost everybody going to the ring and going from the ring, they ride this little cart to the ring. And when they get to the ring, you have the fedorettes who unclip the ropes in the cart to get them off of the ring, let them walk to the ring.
Yeah, I just find it so funny. The Fedorettes is such a goofy name, and they're in these like weird purple flight attendant-esque get-ups.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. The match is fine. I don't have a lot to say about it.
Yeah. It's like fucking... first of all, shout out to yet another entry in the Greg Valentine lore.
Yep, Colin, we got the 15 minutes line again. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and I feel like there was something else too, but I can't remember. But
there was something else, I think.
But yeah, it's just about how unstoppable Greg Valentine is. If he hits that 15 minutes, you're all fucking done for, I guess.
I need to look up Greg Valentine's win-loss record. And the match is longer than 15 minutes. I gotta know.
It was like the longer he's in the ring, the stronger he gets.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Sure.
The match was, again, fine. It is the most fillery match we watched, and to be fair, in the front half, I kind of said it was filler, but I said it because I needed to literally fill out 2 hours in a block. The match has interesting end, though, and that pays off late in the next match, actually, so kind of glad we watched it.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah, this whole thing is this whole match got weird because first of all, they're really going hard on we got to clamp down on not doing double team moves in this.
Oh yeah, Jesse Ventura was real complaining about this, and I told David it's this very 1987 philosophy. Like this is like in the modern day, like I know some people complain about not enough tag team moves, but for the most part, most people are willing to let it go if people do tag team move, like double team 2-on-1 moves, because it's fun to watch. But Jesse is like strict enforcement.
Yeah.
5 seconds, get out.
He really gives a shit about those rules, dude. It's kind of wild.
It's fascinating.
It's really funny that the heel commentator is the one who's such a stickler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it makes sense for the 80s where even fucking heels or faces could break rules all the damn time. Anyway, yeah. Also, at this point, Brain has jumped on commentary. He's having a Hulk-esque breakdown too.
Yeah, he is trying to claim that he is 2-0 on the night. Because Harley Race won, and Hercules didn't lose to Billy Jack Haynes.
Yep.
Which Gorilla points out, well, first of all, your man didn't win that match either.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, for my estimation, Brain, you're 1 for 3 because your man Bundy lost. To which Heenan's response was, I wasn't out there because I don't like midgets. So I wasn't out there.
Too kindly to that. No, sir. No, so that was the other thing too of completely fucking ending my friendship with is Heenan's over here dissing on the little people. For my theater fans out there, Heenan be like, dwarves are very upsetting. It was not a great time. I felt very ashamed of myself for falling in to Bobby the Brain Heenan's trap of thinking he was a respectable intellectual on commentary, when in fact he's just as much a goober as all the rest of them. How could he do this to me?
But obviously, Gorilla is having absolutely none of Bobby Heenan's dumb bullshit.
No, well, he never is. Of course, he has to put the foot down with the classic. His Gorilla's finisher move, oh, come on now.
Anyway, the match kind of breaks down. Beefcake accidentally hits Valentine with an old malfunction at the junction. And but because the referee was arguing with Beefcake over the interference, they end up turning the tables. Dino Bravo helps Valentine cheat to win, and so the Dream Team wins the match.
Mm-hmm.
But it ends with them arguing, and the Greg Valentine, who also came to the ring with Johnny Valiant and Dino Bravo, they leave without Beefcake.
Which I did slightly get confused by this. If Beefcake is the one that hit that hit Valentine, why is he the one who's upsetty about the win? Like, did he just grow principles all of a sudden?
I mean, yes, he's turning babyface. Of course he did.
Was there anything prior to this to set up that he doesn't approve of the methods?
No, it's more of like it's a continued the dysfunction of like when they fucked up with the Adrian Adonis when they teamed with Adonis.
Mm-hmm.
They got Beefcake's hair cut. Like, other than that, that's pretty much it. Is they're starting to become dysfunctional, and so they have broken up as a tag team. But that's the end of that. And then after that, we get to Roddy Piper and Adrian Adonis. Adonis says words that I don't understand. I would probably understand more if I understood his character more.
Yeah, I didn't.
He's clearly making references to his bits, and I'm like, I don't know any of your bits. What are you saying?
Yeah. And then we go over to Piper, and Piper's also this is just a night of mental breakdowns, I guess. Piper's losing his shit. He's real mad about Adonis, and he kind of fucking slips into a bit of a Scottish accent by the end of it. He got a little bit of that throat going because he's so angry.
Yep. So then we get to the match. Roddy Piper's retirement match.
Yeah.
Hair versus hair.
Adrian Adonis has brought fucking hedge clippers to the ring,
which I finally understand why that is because because his talk show bit, the flower shop, and so that's a holdover from that. But also, he's threatening to cut Roddy Piper's hair with the clippers.
Yeah, and I mean, Roddy Piper destroyed his set. If that's the case, I don't know why Adrian Adonis was anyway. So I guess he's just real mad about his flower shop getting torn up by Piper, who was in like a fucking blood rage. They showed a clip of this, and I God, whatever everyone in this episode was on tonight, can I have some? They must have like done a communal round before the show. Like that was their fucking pre-show ritual. And
oh hell yeah, it was pre-show, during the show, post-show. Come on. Poke all around.
Snow everywhere. Snowfall in Michigan, baby. Infamous.
Absolutely. Snowfall in March is happening there.
Unironically, Michigan weather.
Anyway, Piper comes to the ring, and he actually walks to the ring. He's one of two people who walk to the ring tonight.
Yeah.
Don't ride the carriage to the ring.
He's like, I ain't need that wheeled shit. I got two good legs. Also, was this now? Oh yeah, at the end of Piper's promo, he says something about he makes a joke about Adonis dressing in drag for his talk show bit, I guess.
Oh yeah, he's like I'm not gonna lose to a man who wears a dress.
And as you so clearly pointed out, and like I was thinking, I'm usually not one to rag on this point because I think it's dumb, but Roddy, Roddy, you wear a kilt to the ring. You wear a kilt always. Like I wouldn't.
What's really the difference here?
Way. But yeah, the
it's really pointing out the hypocrisy. Like, what's the difference between a kilt and a dress?
It's a few feet of fabric. That's about it. I just by your logic, buddy. Come on.
What are you doing?
Usually that line gets reserved toward people who wear kilts, not the kilt wearers themselves. I feel like you should know better than whatever.
Yeah, come on, man.
He's retiring tonight. I know I should just shut my mouth. I don't want to like poop the party or whatever. I'm just speaking my own 2 cents. You know, it's just me.
Yeah. Anyway, we get to the match, and honestly, I liked it as like it felt kind of blood feudy. Like,
it did. My only gripe, well, it's a slight gripe in that, like, it did feel very it was vicious, but like it was one-sided toward Adonis for almost the entire thing. For some reason, they didn't let Piper get a whole lot of actual hits in. They just saw him thrown around, which I thought was a weird move for a retirement. It did feel like a blood feud, mind you, but it felt like a weirdly one-sided blood feud.
Yeah, we've kind of fallen, it's a classic trope. We got it. Baby faces usually just getting beaten down to build to the comeback and all that.
Well, yeah, but the comeback wasn't even of his own volition.
It wasn't.
Because newly babyface Brutus Beefcake shows up in the ring, and after Piper's been tossed around, he's been disoriented, he's been fucking thrown into the ring post so many times, he's been tossed around, he's lying on the ground, he's knocked out, and Adonis gets him in this chokehold, and the ref is trying to check to see if he's knocked out, if he's
doing the arm or anything, and Adonis, like an idiot, so he rows 1, 2, and Adonis just lets go because he thinks it was number 3.
He's like, it's fine.
I got it. And then he thinks he's won, and this gives Brutus Beefcake an opportunity to run into the ring and take out Jimmy Hart.
Yep.
And then Piper gets his sleeper hold on.
Yeah, well, Piper doesn't even get up with his own volition. Fucking Brutus like shakes him back.
Yeah, Mike Briggs shakes him up. Wakes him up.
Get. So he turns around, gets a surprise sleeper on Adonis. 1, 2, 3, he's down.
Yeah.
But like, I just, what a weird way to rob Roddy Piper of his agency in his final match. Like,
I see that.
The moment that it's the thing of it's the ethos of this company wanting to create moments. It was a great moment, but the story to build to it, I thought, was kind of shit personally.
Fair. That's fair.
Of Roddy doesn't even do a single damn thing except hit a sleeper finisher, and that's what ends it.
Yeah,
it's weird.
He could have had a little more hope spots. I agree.
Yeah, that was, but it does make for a great moment because he gets the win. The crowd loses its fucking mind. They're on their feet. They go to grab which there are professional barber supplies on a table by the ring. Which
don't gotta use the hedge clippers.
And Adonis brought the hedge clippers. They're completely for show. Come on, man. Don't talk a big game.
Yeah. So Beefcake, and this is a bit of a revenge for Beefcake because of the aforementioned because of malfunctions at the junctions. Adrian Adonis cut Beefcake's hair last time we saw these two together, and so he grabs a hold of Adonis. And he starts shaving the head, and it mostly doesn't work. This is one of those things where, like, this never works. Like, they try to do these bits, like, we're going to shave their head live in the ring, and it always looks gross, and they always struggle to cut the hair. There's, probably reasons for that. They don't really know how to use a shaving tool. Yeah. They're all sweaty and gross. They're trying not to cut anybody up. It happens. But, they do get enough of his hair off that it looks all chunky and gross.
You kind of get the point, and it looks bad, and Piper's got the fucking mirror by Adonis's back, just waiting for him to turn around and see, and of course he does, and he's horrified. It's like, oh! But he tries to punch the mirror. It's, of course, symbolism.
But he ends up running out of the ring.
Much to my surprise, this mirror did not break. I thought for sure there was going
to be he didn't try. I guess he didn't punch it very hard, probably for the safest.
But Piper like fucking hits him or Jimmy Hart or someone with the mirror later on.
He swings it. I don't think he hits anybody with it.
Either way, yeah, we surprisingly don't get a shatter spot with this mirror. I was a little surprised, but also I imagine they don't want to clean up sharp glass or whatever like that. But yeah, so they escort a horrified, shamed Adonis out of his ring. His Lucha de Apuestas record just got a little worse. Waka waka.
Yep. Sad to hear.
Piper's celebrating in ring, and probably one of my favorite moments from this episode. You see this fucking dude jump into
I forgot about this.
And you see this guy jump into the ring, and he comes up, and he, like, blocks Piper, and I'm like, who is that? Is that like Piper's brother? Is that his Austin's like, that looks like it could be his son, but I'm not entirely sure. So we're kind of puzzling over this, and then we cut to a different angle, and Piper's exiting the ring, and then Austin goes, you know, it could be someone who jumped the ring, and I go, that'd be funny.
And you can see the security guards in the back grabbing this guy in the ring. As if he did jump in the ring.
It pulls away enough as Piper's walking out. And you see two dudes in all black just fucking this guy up. And it was so...
Yep. Man jumped the ring just to show Piper how much he liked him. Big fan.
So fucking just the fact that it was in the background, and it's Piper having this super triumphant moment. Everyone's loving him. He's reveling in his supposedly final moments in ring. It's so good. And then just in the background, this dude who jumped the ring to fucking hug Roddy Piper. This rando is getting roughed up by arena cops. It's so good. It's such a funny image. I will never be over you can't pay for this kind of production value.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. It was so good. Oh man, that was my favorite. Holy shit. Oh.
Absolute good times. But Roddy Piper, he's ending his career on with a win. And that is that.
Time to make they live.
So then we move on to the 6-man tag team match. Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation versus Tito Santana and the British Bulldogs.
Yeah, also at some point in this, Uecker is still being horny for Moolah, and I have no idea why. Why are we still on this bit?
He couldn't find her, apparently.
He like fucking went down to try to find Moolah to, I don't know, I guess sexually assault her, and couldn't, so he came back, the tail between his legs, like, I couldn't find Moolah. It's real shit, too.
So Jesse leaves commentary to introduce the Hart Foundation himself. So commentary for this match is Gorilla Monsoon, Bob Uecker, and Mary Hart.
And not Mean Gene. I don't know who the second tuxed up dude was. Do you know that other guy's name who's in the tux and doing ring announcing?
Howard Finkel?
Howard Finkel. That was probably it.
Yeah.
Finkel. Finkel.
Finkel. Yeah, he did this.
Finkel describes Jesse Ventura as a person the same way you could describe Jesse Ventura's presidential run is the man who allegedly tells it like it is.
Yeah.
Such a great little take. Appreciate that. Also, hey, Austin and I were having a good laugh earlier this week to once again date our show about on Dynamite. Anthony Bowen's calling Darby Allin Nightmare Before Christmas looking ass. We want to talk about Nightmare Before Christmas looking ass. Danny Davis is still in his goofy ass pseudo pinstripe.
Yes, he's still in the pinstripe.
Yeah, it's like this. I realized, like, toward the end of last time we commented on this era, it's supposed to be like a parody ref suit, but it just looks so bad. And it's weird too. He's got it all like wonky. Part of it's like tilted inward, and I'm just like, God damn, Davis is such a goober. And they shout out that Davis has been suspended for life plus 10 years.
I don't know where the 10 years came from.
Yeah,
all right.
I guess Tunney was just feeling extra spiteful afterward or something.
I don't know.
But my favorite part is talking about Danny Davis's weird fucking costume. Is we cut over to a previous interview segment that was done earlier in the night with the Hart Foundation and Danny Davis. and they're just kind of going, "Oh man, we're gonna win. We're gonna kick some butt."
Right. Yeah.
But from either side of Davis, Brett and Jim kind of like bro hug him, and it ruffles up his suit. And you see it kind of ruffles up his suit in the way that it's currently ruffled up in the ring. So he clearly just got it like ruffled up during this pre-match segment and just never fixed it, which I think is so funny. I don't even know if that was intentional. I doubt it was. But it just adds to what a little goober Danny Davis is. Pure art. That's a great character building, guys. You done good.
Yep. And if you really want to know how serious of a wrestler I'm supposed to take Danny Davis, he comes in the ring in this stupid jacket and shit, and then he takes the jacket off and he wrestles in a plain white tee, like he's about to go sing "Hey There, Delilah," and then he's got pinstripe pants, but plain white t-shirt,
weird like pinstripe boots too.
So looking great.
Oh yeah, what was that? What was that about? The Christmas episode. The one dude who won Proto NXT and is like, we got his gear yet.
Maven.
Yeah, Danny Davis mavening it up over here.
Yeah, pretty much. But so Tito.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like, Tito and the Bulldogs come out with Matilda, and something I appreciate because I didn't know this is that they talk about Tito Santana's beef with Danny Davis is that Danny Davis screwed Tito Santana out of the Intercontinental Championship, and that's how Randy Savage won it a year prior.
Oh yeah, I kind of missed that part, but that's a great little. I'll give it to him. That's a great little way to tie him into this triples match.
Yeah. Also,
I really want to shake the hand of like whoever trained Matilda. I just appreciate any dog who can be trained to faux attack like that.
Matilda did her job.
Also, Mary Hart is very insistent that she has no relation to anyone else named Hart this evening, particularly Jimmy Hart. She's like, there was a time, but not anymore. And I'm like, what? And I'm just over here wondering what time there was that she would be okay associating herself by blood with Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, okay. So I guess it's a good time to talk about the guest commentators because I liked them.
Oh no, I thought it was great. Like they got some goofy spots, but overall I quite enjoyed their presence. I
think it really works because like Bob Uecker, he's a sports commentator and he clearly knows enough about this to like not sound stupid.
Yeah.
So he sounds intelligent, and Mary Hart is a little more like emotion, like she's a little less knowledgeable, but she kind of like does a good job of like talking about the match and getting the story beats. And to her credit, she knew what to her credit, she knew what a pile driver was.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. Not every guest celebrity commentator is that well knowledgeable.
I hazard a guess that she was at least a passing wrestling fan. She had to have been. She seemed so happy to be here.
Yeah, I think Uecker and Hart were probably casual wrestling fans. If I had to assume their wrestling fandom from how they were on this show, I'd guess they were casual fans who knew enough about it to sound comfortable presenting it on TV.
Absolutely. And like I said, Mary Hart has got a good little wit on her. She seems clearly able to kind of pick up on little things she can say and insert just added some fun little flavor like that.
Like the bit with Jimmy Hart. She's like, maybe at one point in time I would have been willing to claim Jimmy Hart related to Jimmy Hart, but after this with this Danny Davis character, associating with this Danny Davis character, I can't do it.
Mary Hart, no relation.
Yep.
Yeah.
The match match is good.
The match is pretty good. It follows this wild trajectory of starting off as kind of a legit, straightforward match, and then you tag Danny Davis in, and
I love Danny Davis in this match.
Again, ultimate goober energy. I was disappointed at first just on the grounds of what I wanted this to be. I wanted it to be like, surprise, Danny Davis is actually a really technically competent wrestler, but he just wasn't. But instead what it was he gets tagged in, he makes a couple cheap shots, then he tags immediately back out. This is clearly
the whole time.
And I find it very funny that these like technical champions in the form of the Hart Foundation are cool with just having this dude like tag along and dick around just because he's helped
blatant ass third wheel liability.
Yeah, just because he's fucking stroked their dicks in the past, they're just having to be like, yeah, we'll indulge you. Come on, buddy, let's have some fun.
Get in there.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes. And so Davis gets all these weird little cheap shots. Also, random ass spot in the middle of this match of Jesse Ventura stealing Matilda that just never paid for the rest of the episode.
No, at one point, yeah. I don't know. I guess he just takes Matilda away so that the Bulldogs can't unleash her on anybody. But it just is a quick cut to Ventura on the cart going away with Matilda, and then they just never bring it up again.
Basically like Benny Hill music. He's just It's so good. Very, very good. But at one point, Davis tags back in, gets a little too cocky, and gets caught by Danny. Was that Davey Boy that got that? Yeah, that had to have been Davey Boy.
Davey Boy. He just fucking kills Danny Davis because he does. He hits him with a pile driver, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to pin him off that." He picks him up, hits him with a suplex, and then he picks him up for the running power slam. Which is his signature move. I was like, "Damn, okay."
Mm-hmm.
But then Jim Neidhart breaks up the pin, and it all starts devolving into shenanigans. And in the ensuing brawl, Danny Davis gets a hold of Jimmy Hart's megaphone, clocks British Bulldog in the face with the megaphone, and then he pins him. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Danny Davis winning his debut match.
Davis get the pin it was kind of like an obvious move if you think about it, but it was a great little way to just let this goober, this little gremlin of a man, just have his day in the sun for being such a little shit. I do have to appreciate though the segment, the extended segment where Davey Boy Smith is, to put the technical term on it, absolutely murdering Danny Davis. That must have been such a cathartic moment for the whole crowd of just watching him get his due. But then Davis and Co still managed to get the dub. What a great little way to toy with the crowd's emotions of finally he's getting his retribution, and then he still cheats to win.
No.
Yeah, nope. That must have been a real roller coaster for the crowd. But I do appreciate it was a catharsis match. Honestly, I also appreciate too. I don't know every single thing going on in this era, storyline wise, behind the scenes wise, writing wise. I don't know why they decided to set it up this way, but this was a fun. Ultimately, what this was a stealth comedy match, and I found it fun for what that was. I don't know why they were doing that with tag team champions, the Hart Foundation, in such a comedy style, but I thought it was a fun little jaunt for what it was.
Yeah. Then we get a Mean Gene interview with Andre and Bobby Heenan, and Bobby Heenan does all the talking. He basically is like gloating that this is his night. This is the night that he is going to manage the WWE champion. And Hogan, you're getting those butterflies in your stomach because I am too. Because I can feel it.
Poor Andre just keeps getting used. Also, to cut back real quick, on the theme, the motif, if you will, of learning the wrong lessons tonight, I do find it funny that leading into this segment about the toxic friendship and learning wrong lessons from what's going on here, that the lesson to be learned at the end of the freaking Danny Davis match is Bulldog. Don't get too hung up on petty revenge. Don't be a child, or otherwise you don't get to win.
You let your vengeance consume you.
Your vengeance consume. Yeah, we just keep all the wrong morals for all the wrong people tonight. Yeah, look, I think retributive justice is cringe, but in the confines of wrestling, if you want to rough up Danny Davis a little bit extra, Godspeed. I think that is, if any retribution is earned, I think that is one of them. So I find that very funny that it then leads into the oh yeah, also we're still gonna totally pretend like Andre's the bad guy this whole time. But poor Andre is getting directly used by Heenan too. This man, my wholesome boy, he can't catch a break. I feel so bad for him. This is such a harrowing tale.
Yeah.
But yeah.
After that, we get Butch Reed and Coco Beware. We didn't watch it, but it ends when Butch Reed rolls up Coco Beware where he grabs the tights. And then after the match, Slick runs into the ring and hits Coco Beware with the pimp cane. But Tito Santana comes to save the day. And so that's that.
Cool.
Moving on. Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage.
God. Okay. I don't know why... everything about Ricky Steamboat seems like a phenomenal worker. I've now seen him in ring. He is a phenomenal worker. I can't wrap my head around the nuclear levels of cringe that everything associated with Ricky Steamboat keeps posting. Like, first of all, we get this rundown of the feud as it's been going, and we see how Savage kind of destroyed Steamboat, like, attacked his throat, and then whammed him with a ring bell. And we get this segment with Mean Gene talking to who appears to be is ostensibly Ricky Steamboat's doctor,
supposedly the doctor.
But the doctor is clearly wearing no shirt under his lab coat and just looks like some jobber they dressed up as a doctor. And
probably because it probably was.
Yeah, but so he's like, yes, by my expert medical perspective, like Ricky Steamboat will live. He is tremendous.
It's incredible
power. Well, but then he says some cheesy ass line about I don't think it was the strength of his heart more than anything. Thank you, doctor. Very technical thing to be talking about. Ricky Steamboat's clearly metaphorical heart in how the hell he survived his throat being yeeted by Randy Savage. That's great. And then we cut to a promo with Steamboat himself. And why is he Neo I know Kung Fu posting?
He does, because he knows martial arts, David.
What is this? I want to like Ricky Steamboat, and I do when he's not opening his damn mouth.
Yeah, he's never been the greatest promo guy. He kind of is like the most wholesome of baby faces, but man, he was never a great promo.
So goofy. He has no self-awareness whatsoever, and
he's the dragon. Well, I am the dragon. I will breathe fire and burn your back tonight, Savage.
Yeah, sure. We get to the ring. The Savage
promo where he rambles about Ricky Steamboat some more and ends with an iconic Savage line: "His history beckons the Macho Man."
Great quality line. I appreciate that. History beckoneth indeed. We now get to the ring. I really have to point out that Randy Savage seems to have my sense of color coordination, and unfortunately that is not a compliment. He's got
how dare you?
Look, I am a weird person. I get a kick out of dressing in somewhat clashing colors. I don't care if other people are weirded out by it. It's just how I do not judge remotely, but I know other people do.
Dissing the pink trunks with the yellow boots.
I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate the combo. I just know other people might chafe at it, and I wish to express camaraderie with my fellow color-loving boy, Randy Savage. The pink trunks, the yellow boots. Live your truth, buddy. I support you. Absolutely. And then Steamboat comes out, accompanied by George the Animal Steel. For some reason, I guess they threw in that. I guess he has recent history with Savage too from that time. They're kind of friends.
They're very enemy of my enemy bidding here.
Yeah. That time that Animal wholesomely, baby-facely kidnapped Miss Elizabeth. Great. So he's here too. Phenomenal.
Thankfully, he was not a big part of the match.
He was not.
At least not in like the creepy way.
Yeah, he did not make a single advance toward Miss Elizabeth. Hallelujah. I don't want to think about what happened after he stole her away and what must have ensued between him and Savage. Anyway, but as Steamboat is making his way into the ring, Jesse Ventura says something about hearkening back to the brilliant medical analysis from Ricky Steamboat's, and I can't put this in heavy enough air quotes, doctor. Jesse Ventura, for some reason, feels compelled to say, they say he's got a lot of heart, but I think he's got a lot of throat. Which...
Great line, Jesse!
Jesse Ventura, a man with a poet's tongue, a way with words, unlike few other people, as we will see more examples of for the rest of this evening. Oh man.
Yep.
That was his highlight line.
Savage and Steamboat. Real hot take here to say it's really freaking good.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I thought that was a phenomenal bout between the two of them. Yep. They do get some shenaniganery going on here, but it's pretty acceptable in that the work rate for most of it is off the charts. They get some.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are two men who clearly have phenomenal in-ring chemistry, and they show it off beautifully. This is something I made a connection to. I have no idea if this was intentional or not, but I did really like this. Back during Full Gear, I guess now last year, the MJF Darby Allin match where MJF was dressed in a Randy Savage homage, he and Darby had this insane spot where they were grappled onto each other and they were like fucking roly-polying around the ring to try to pin each other. I saw like a tiny microcosm version of that in this match, wherein they're grappled onto each other and they do one rolls back to pin the other rolls back. And it's really lightning quick and it's just one and then they're done. But I almost wonder if that was a direct homage, if MJF was also Randy Savage cosplaying for that match. Because that was a legitimately great spot, and I could see how that could go on to inspire future spots like that. That was phenomenal. It's not like we focus a lot on this show whenever Randy Savage is on screen about just what a horribly toxic significant other he was, but goddamn, what
an all-time great wrestler and character,
talented worker. It's insane. His work still holds up to this day. His wrestling is to die for. That man had so much talent in him. I can't. It knocks me on my ass every time I watch him fight in earnest because the results are incredible. It's undeniable. But ironically, the cream rises to the top here.
That was his promo, by the way. He was the one who did the cream rise to the top.
I know. That was that. There are some things I do know about that I get to learn about.
Pulling out cream cups of cream is amazing.
Yeah, so goofy.
Yeah, the match has a reputation.
Go for it.
I was going to say, the match has a reputation as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, match in WrestleMania history. I would disagree that it's the greatest. I think that modern wrestling has kind of there's several matches I would put above it. But I will say is that it was the greatest match at WrestleMania for a very long time, and it is absolutely a classic. And so far outside of the kind of wrestling that the rest of the WWF was doing at the time.
Yeah,
we've watched a lot of this era, and they weren't doing a whole lot of stuff quite like Steamboat and Savage did on this night.
This felt like a modern feud. We just saw a tiny little bit of it, a microscopic little bit of this, but it felt like a modern feud. It felt like this one really clicked in the sensibilities of how good wrestling storytelling can really work on TV in an era where they were still really figuring out how to do that. This felt kind of ahead of its time. It's been way too long since I've got to drop a really spicy take on this show. I'll drop a really spicy take right now that I'm sure would probably piss some people off if I said it. I think this is stronger than even Andre Hogan ends up being. I will.
That's not spicy at all. I got the spicy take on that match. You just wait.
Okay.
I got the real spice. I got the real spicy take on that match, but we'll get there.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Also, in this match, we get another drink every time Gorilla says "fucking Pearl Harbor" spot.
He does. He does the Pearl Harbor job again when Savage like sends Ricky Steamboat over the railing. He throws Steamboat over a table, over the railing, into the crowd.
Also, Jesse Ventura can't stop saying larynx instead of like drinks. He keeps saying larynx, and I'm like, Jesse, buddy. Again, a man with a way with words. Although I will give him credit for this line is I think it was Savage hits a clothesline on Steamboat, and Gorilla comments on it and says, "I wonder if that was deliberate." And Jesse shoots back, "Of course it's deliberate. You think he just fell right into it?"
Yeah. Okay. What Gorilla was trying to say and didn't say it correctly was he was trying to suggest that what Savage did is he knocked Steamboat neck first into the ropes as an attempt to hurt him. And what Gorilla was trying to say was that like intentionally attacking his throat like that should be considered a DQ. But of course, all he said was that clothesline looked intentional. So of course, Jesse Ventura grabbed onto that and was like, "What? Of course it's intentional. What are you, stupid?"
Yeah. But that was a great little comeback line from Ventura. I appreciated it.
Mm-hmm. But fantastic match, and again, is that George the Animal Steel stays the fuck out of this match. Like, yeah, he really only shows up at the very end.
Yeah, he helps Ricky Steamboat get up from what probably should have been a count out, but
yeah, and Ventura was losing his mind on commentary about this. The Dave Hebner was taking more time to berate Savage for attacking Steamboat on the outside than like actually counting out Steamboat. But the big impact that Steel has on the match is the very end when Savage grabs the ring bell and he's gonna fucking do it again.
Yeah,
and Steve, and then. He's gonna fucking do it again. And then Steamboat, and then George Steele interferes and stops Savage from doing that. He ends up knocking Savage off the top rope with ring bell in hand. So he falls, and commentary tries to sell like Steamboat that Savage might have hit his head on the ring bell. He didn't, very clearly. But he still drops it. And then that gives Steamboat an opportunity to roll Savage up into a pin, and then that's enough. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Steamboat is the new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, that was a solid way to end it too. Of Savage trying to harken back to the last time he got a real good drop on Ricky, but this time he was denied.
Yep.
Ricky's outsmarting him this time, baby.
Yep. Absolutely all-timer of a match. Good. Yeah, glad to have seen it.
I have to agree. I was really blown away by that one. 100%.
All right, moving on. We get the Honky Tonk Man versus Jake Roberts again. Sadly, we didn't watch this match. The match ends where Honky Tonk Man rolls up Jake Roberts, puts his legs up on the ropes for leverage, them's cheating, and pins him for the win. After the match, he tries to El Kabong Jake. It fails, and instead he runs off and he leaves Jimmy Hart to get attacked by the snake with Alice. Alice Cooper grabs the snake and attacks Jimmy Hart with it, and that is the end of that. So then we get Howard Finkel introducing Mean Gene Okerlund to say the indoor attendance record of 93,173.
I love how specific a fudged number that was. So they're like, "What's the? We got to add some random digits to make this sound legit.
Make this sound legit. We can't show that we definitely fudged it."
Yeah, 93173. Is that today's Powerball number? Probably. All right, cool. Let's roll with it.
Yeah. But obviously, again, the real total was about 78,000. I looked this up while I was had a chance to look it up. But yes, but still very impressive, and it looked full. Absolutely, they had people packed to the rafters in there.
I do agree. It's an impressive crowd, even if they decide to bullshit their way into setting a record. Why not?
Yep.
Whatever.
Anyway, then the next match we didn't watch, the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov versus the Killer Bees. During the but right at the beginning of the match, Nikolai Volkov tries to sing the Soviet national anthem, but then here comes Hacksaw Jim Duggan to interfere because this is the land of the free and the home of the brave. He's not gonna sing ho, and then he stays, and then basically the match ends in a DQ because he ends up interfering, and there's a bunch of bullshit and whatever. Wow, good guys get the moral. Good guys get the spiritual win. Whatever.
A win is a win, but a psychological loss is a psychological loss. Oh man!
And now here we are.
The grand, the almighty, the practically Shakespearean, the tragedy of Andre the Giant. We begin on a harrowing scene. Andre the Giant in his final pre-match interview. Well, actually, no, yeah, we get.
He goes first.
Yeah, he goes first. His final pre-match interview, and he stands there stalwart. He stands there reserved, and yet someone is there to steal the spotlight. In this case, who should be his ally, Bobby the Brain Heenan, who only wishes for glory, whereas Andre simply wants the pure goal of self-determination, and yet no one will truly ever allow it for him. It is a sad time.
Anyway, Hogan then bumped another line of coke and is even more insane in his second interview of the night.
And now we cut over to the comedy of Hulk Hogan.
Holy moly. Okay, this time Hulk Hogan talks about how he's going to slam the Giant, and he's concerned not for the 93,000 in the arena, but for the 93,000 outside the arena. Hogan, there's more than 93,000 people in Detroit, not in this this arena.
Wait, was that what he? I was so confused at what he was even insinuating.
He was insinuating that he is going to slam the Giant, and it's going to cause earthquakes.
But
isn't the last time he says that.
But not in the arena, outside of the arena.
Yeah, he's concerned by the people who are not going to see him body slam the Giant, will otherwise just feel the earthquakes, I guess.
I'm sure he's very actually concerned.
He sounded like a fucking madman, and near incomprehensible, doesn't even begin to cover it.
And the best part is, as Mean Gene is wrapping up this interview segment, Hogan is just mucking like a cartoon character at the camera. He's like,
oh man,
he's like making this ooh face with his mouth, and he's like, I don't know but audio only. You're missing Austin and I trying our best to make the most ridiculous flex poses we can.
Yeah, it's something, all right.
Terry, how much coke did you do, Terry?
Enough to not feel any pain, brother.
He was so fucking high. Christ.
Now, then Hogan comes out. He walks to the ring too. And so here he comes, and as I mentioned to David, this is the most serious he ever looks tearing the shirt. He doesn't normally he plays to the crowd when he does it, and he just kind of rips it off in the corner while staring at Andre.
Yeah, Hogan put on his serious business shirt rip. Some other small highlights is Jesse calling Bob Mr. Basketball. He tries
to act like he doesn't know that Bob Uecker is Mr. Baseball, even though they've been making baseball jokes all night.
weird. Like
But yes, Bob Uecker does the ring announcing duties, and Mary Hart does the guest timekeeper.
Yes, timekeeper.
And Bob Uecker's call of Andre the Giant. Man, that's another iconic put in all the video packages.
Yeah.
Line.
I can't even remember what got me to say this. It might have been something with Mary Hart. It might have been something else. I just wrote in my notes, 80s era stop being gross about women challenge impossible. I don't even know what inspired that, but I'm sure it was something.
Yeah, it was probably something. I don't remember exactly what it was.
I have no idea. It was sometime after the Mr. Basketball line. But yeah, then Andre shows up and people are just throwing trash throughout this entire.
They do. They're throwing so much trash. The ref has to knock trash out of the ring.
Yeah, there's a spot where he catches one midair that you caught and flings it right back. Oh man,
that's insane.
God, okay, this is a point where I really need to ask. We can't be the only people that have lampshaded how fucked up this situation is if you actually look at it with thought, right? We can't be the only people who have stopped to be like, this friendship actually kind of looks toxic from the Hogan side, right?
I'm pretty sure we're not.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because watching this crowd be this vitriolic toward Andre, who literally is just, why are you booing me? I'm right facing the whole time. But
why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah. What? How did these people get this brainwashed into despising Andre the Giant this much just because he dared disrespect Hulk Daddy?
Well, that's the power of Hulkamania, brother.
Evidently.
Hulkamania is a death cult. We have already talked about this.
Yeah, I know we have. Oh man. Oh, that's a throwback. This is their death chant. Andre has dared question their dogma, their glorious leader's dogma, and just something in their psychological programming got switched on to turn into feral animals of hatred toward him. It was deeply disheartening.
All right, I think it's time for my nuclear hot take.
Oh, please.
I think I've avoided a lot of those on this show, but it's my time. I like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
Oh, that's the nuclear hot take?
It is. The match is infamously considered terrible. One of the worst matches ever. And it is considered absolute dog shit by the larger wrestling consensus.
I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was a little disappointing. I thought I wish I could have gotten a little bit more blood from this stone, but overall it was fine. I just thought the ending came a little too quick and felt a little sudden and anticlimactic. But that's about it.
I'll read you this paragraph. So from Wikipedia to get a better sense of what the idea is here. Despite the historic importance, the match was also criticized for its quality. At the time, it received a negative 4-star rating from Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer newsletter, named it the worst worked match of the year. In 2020, 411 Mania's Larry Zonka gave the match 1 star, stating the match is not good in any way, shape, or form, but this one I completely appreciate for its historical significance.
Damn, I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't either. Let's break down why I liked it. The answer is, I get what people don't like about it, in that it's very slow. Hogan is not the most technical worker on his best days, and Andre is far from his best days.
Yeah.
So it's a plotting match. I grant you that. But here's the thing: is I think a good comparison to this is the Hog Wild match that we watched several weeks back. The match I despise with a passion.
Oh, that was such a bad match.
If I may compare why I hate that match, but I actually like Andre Hogan, and I think the big part of that is that there are thematic beats within the match that actually are interesting enough to keep me interested until we start, okay, time to go home and hit the big boy stuff, is you have, immediately, you get the Hogan getting cocky a little bit. He goes for the kill, for the body slam immediately. But Hogan, he doesn't have the power. Andre is too strong. And so Andre just flops on Hogan and almost pins him to winning right there. Hogan kicks out, but the rest of the match, his back is fucked. And that is the framing device for why Andre beats the shit out of Hogan for most of the rest of the match.
Yeah.
Andre, again, then this match kind of proceeds into a lot of like punch. Again, very slow, but I think what they do makes it work in that Andre doesn't just kind of stand there and wait for Hogan to get back up. You get Andre being like, get up. Like, it's adding some personality to the moment, and it feels more like it feels to me anyway, more like an interesting character moment of like, Andre is like trying to beat Hogan down, and he's punishing Hogan, and Hogan is having to struggle he's barely clawing his way out of this match. Andre is toying with him almost. And then we get to, I forget, Hogan starts fighting back, and he ends up getting caught in the bear hug spot. Now, I mentally compared the bear hug to the test of strength from the Hog Wild match. And everybody involved in the bear hug is a lot more animated. Yeah. And it feels more like something is actually happening here.
Yeah.
Even if Andre is just standing there hugging Hogan and Hogan has to pretend he's in pain. But Hogan does a better job of acting like he's in pain than he did in the Hog Wild match. So it works. And you got Hogan like trying to put his arms underneath Andre to kind of like get leverage. And you get the 1-2 spot, and that's good stuff. And then eventually Andre knocks Hogan out of the ring. They fight a little on the outside, and Hogan rips the mat up and then tries to like pile drive Andre onto the plywood, or I'm sorry, the concrete.
Yeah.
Good try.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. And he ends up back body dropping Hogan onto the wood himself. And Hogan's he's selling the pain, brother. And eventually we get back in the ring, and we kind of get the big finishing sequence of all throughout the match. Hogan has just been hitting Andre, and he's trying to knock Andre down. He's coming closer every time, but he can't do it. And then eventually he hits the big L clothesline, and this time he knocks Andre down. He can't believe it. Andre is down. And then he picks Andre up for the body slam, heard round the world. Bam! And then he hits the leg drop, a 1, a 2, and a 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yes, I kind of just did the whole match beat by beat, and there wasn't a lot of action in between there. But my point is that there were story beats and arcs to the whole match that made it engaging for me to watch, even if, yes, the action wasn't particularly good.
Yeah. I agree. And the Hogan getting beat down for a lot of that front half and coming back. I mean, it's the classic babyface spot, right? But there is something to be said here of how hard they went with it, because he is getting thrown around by the world's biggest dude and is still able to find the inner strength to recover from it. And I mean, in the framing of the story as is, it's of course he finds his inner strength, realizes that he's better than this, and he can still, he hulks up, he comes back, blah, blah, blah. But hell, even in our framing, I can kind of see it of him having this moment of he's having his worst moment. He's fading, and he does like the fucking Principal Skinner meme of, am I wrong? No, it is the giant who is wrong. And he's able to find his freaking ego and go back to it. It had beats. Again, I wish it had a little more action. When you think Legends, Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, you want to get a little bit more bang for your buck. But like, Jesus, -4 stars? Not in a million years. I've seen far Far
I
worse.
think I believe Meltzer has kind of went back on that and acknowledged that was a little bit of a reactionary take, and he bumped it up to like 1 star.
Gee, thanks.
But yeah, the reputation of Andre Hogan just being a bad match, only if with no value outside of its historical significance, is pretty commonplace, and I don't necessarily agree. I think it's a pretty solid enough match overall. I think that and maybe for me, I just didn't expect anything more from Hogan and Andre physically because I know Andre couldn't handle it. Like, I don't know if you noticed it, but Andre took 2 bumps the entire match. When he got knocked down by the clothesline and when he got body slammed. That's it. He was just on his feet the whole rest of the match because he otherwise couldn't really handle anything else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, there were a couple like head hits for him too and stuff, but
sure,
down on his ass. Yeah. But like that was the other thing of even if I thought the ending was kind of anticlimactic, it felt like it made sense. Andre presents himself in such a way that he's always on his feet and he's always moving. Again, he is the immovable force, like they kind of hearken to here.
Yeah, the iconic line from Gorilla Monsoon: "The unstoppable force meets the immovable object." Iconic line from him at that moment.
But you get this feeling from it of this is a man who you can't even fathom being down. And once he is down, your brain kind of goes, wait, I'm not used to this. What? And it almost makes sense for him to not get back up because you're like, damn, I don't see him get up a lot because he never needs to. He's not used to having to get up. It makes sense that the Giant could be felt like that, even if I think it lacks a little bit of panache. Like, I'll give it. I agree with your apparently nuclear take. This is an okay match to watch. I did not think this is the worst thing ever. I think the storytelling around this was far worse than the actual like match itself. But hey, we even found a way to swerve that because we just fucking came up with better storytelling without changing a damn word of the script. Look at us, we're just that talented.
Babu.
Shout out to. Sorry, go ahead.
The finish of the match pays off the 2 story beats of the match from the rest of the match. Is that knocking Andre on his feet, off his feet, and body slamming him. Ta-da! Like, bravo, 5 stars.
You done
5-star finish, 5-star finish construction.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, a few other small things. Shout out to Ventura getting one final great dumb line in. Andre's in the corner, Hogan's beating up on him. And Bobby the Brain calls out to him, "Are you okay?" And Andre kind of nods back, and Ventura notes this as he nodded back affirmatively, as opposed to what other kind of nod, Jesse? Oh, this man and his wordy words. I do appreciate that. What really? Andre tried to resolve this with the power of hugs.
Yeah, sure. That's a way you could frame the bear hug.
Also, I really love when Hulk is hulking back up to overcome the bear hug. The hands dropped 1, 2, but it stays up the 3rd time. I see he went to the Boss Nass school, was earning his dominance because he just starts going. I was like, what was that? It was Hulk Hogan, goofy
motherfucker. Brother.
But yeah, once all is said and done, finally, Hulk Hogan, even in victory, his transformation to completely accepting his being a terrible friend to Andre and framing it as he was completely in the right, acting like an insufferable prick even in victory. And man, it certainly wasn't intended like this, but I can't agree more with Gorilla Monsoon when he described it as Hulk giving the people exactly what they want.
Yep, the people wanted this.
Those people. This is what the people wanted. Unfortunately.
So Hogan wins the match, and Andre and Heenan are despondent. They take the cart back as they get pelted with garbage on the way out too.
Oh God.
And then but then Hogan, he gets in the ring and he's hot dogging and grandstanding as he always fucking does.
Yeah. And giving it multiple times to the big guy upstairs, friggin' virtue signaler.
Yeah, he's this fucker.
Old man
And
face-fisted clouds.
he ends the match. Well, I used to be with it, and then they changed what it was, brother, and now I'm not with it anymore, and I think it's scary, dude.
Yes. Abe Simpson, more like Hulk Hogan. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, that is the end of the show. After that, they do a highlight pack. They do a highlight package of all the other matches of the night.
Yeah.
Signing off. Hogan is the triumphant winner. Did I really expect anything else? Even if I didn't already know how this ends.
The end of another era. This has been a wild one. I mean, of course, this has been a highlight for me in getting to turn this damn story on its head in such a fun way. Damn, we need to be in that writer's room. But it was also cool to finally get to go all the way back and do a full story in this really classic era of the day. We've seen little steps of it before, but this was one of the most unique arcs we followed because of the Saturday night's main event framing, or whatever. Is that what it was, right? Saturday
Primetime wrestling is primetime wrestling.
God, yeah. Primetime wrestling, the primetime wrestling format, the fact that it was this legendary storyline, the fact that it was the classic era. And I mean, again, though I poke fun and disagree with a lot of the sensibilities of the day because I think they were goofy and sometimes deeply offensive, I can so understand why this was the golden era in a way, because it did kind of have, at the end of the day, for the sensibilities of the time, that perfect combo of sports and entertainment. They weren't at the point where kayfabe was absolutely shattered into a million pieces, and they found ways to really speak to these vehement feelings in the audience, as seen by some of the nuclear tier pops that happened in this show. Just how invested the audience was in so many of these stories. The fact that you did get this massive crowd to come see WrestleMania 3, the first genuinely good WrestleMania, with some phenomenal matches in it. This was them finding their footing. And this era, I think, was a great encapsulation of, while, yes, the follies of the era, also the great successes at the heart of it that catapulted them to the untouchable status they are today.
Absolutely. Like I went into this era hoping to kind of give you a greater appreciation for this time period, because I know that our first few episodes in this foray, you were a little more hesitant, didn't quite enjoy it as much. And I think I came out of it with a greater appreciation of the era and the time. I had a lot of fun in this arc.
Yeah, no, and toward the end of this arc, this has marked my very conscious attempt to try to, because now I am a weekly wrestling watcher. I watch AEW 2 times a week, and seeing, and this is something I've talked to you about in the in our personal conversations of seeing this show week after week and seeing how I react to it in a kind of starkly different way than I do to like the very limited arcs we follow on this show. It kind of makes me understand that there's a certain leniency that needs to be given if you're not following the story on a whole, because there are things you allow for insanely long-term storytelling that you're going to be following for years and years and years to come in real time. Whereas in this box, I'm kind of forced to evaluate things in a very limited manner for just what I see from the arc as you present it for the 5 episodes that we lay it out.
Right.
I've been trying to apply that leniency more and come into a greater understanding and sympathy for why things came off the way they did in the time they were from, and kind of understanding that this could be going other places in the future that people could jive with that I might not be seeing, stuff like that. And so this era, I think, has been a really big benefactor of that on my end from my analysis standpoint. But I'm glad it was this era that kind of got to be one of the first big recipients of that, because it is the classic era. And yeah, thanks to your efforts, and thanks to kind of how I've been learning about this culture, it felt cool to really come to a full appreciation of this for everything it was to kick this off.
Of course. And so thus ends that arc. So what arc would be replacing it with in our time period? Now, I say is that I like to commit this arc to the pre-Attitude Era. That means before 96, 97.
Mhm.
So we're going to go to 1994, but
Okay.
deep in the new generation era. But we're not doing the WWF. No, we're not going to the WWF. Meanwhile, WCW, this is right before Hulk Hogan's going to show up and do a bunch of stupid, goofy nonsense there. But we're not going to WCW. No. I think that what we should do is that we are going to go to almost the proto Attitude Era, from which really a lot of the Attitude Era's finer and lesser fine points were derived. In 1994, in a small independent wrestling territory in Philadelphia, it was the birth of Extreme. We're going to the birth of EC fucking W.
Oh shit, buddy! The trifecta, the last member of the Holy Trinity. I am so ready for my mind to expand as I learn the final piece of the late 80s, early 90s puzzle. Oh man, we're going on a ride with Paul Heyman, boys. Strap in. Yeah, baby. Yep. I'm here for it.
That is for a few episodes down the line. What are we doing next week? Next week, we return to the Grand Temple. Lucha Underground as, oh no, Drago will be taking on Prince Puma in a title versus career match for the Lucha Underground Championship. If Drago loses, he is banned from the temple, as per his unique opportunity from Dario Cueto.
Slimy motherfucker. Let's do this.
Yeah. But that is for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. My friends, my dear, dear friends. Thank you for joining us for on yet another very, very special episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We are so delighted to have you with us. If this is if you're a returning listener, viewer, what have you, thank you so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, what have you. We are so delighted to have you. We hope you continue to join us in the future. If you were a first-time listener, watcher, what have you, thank you so much for joining us here. We hope you've had a phenomenal time. We heard the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. Like to think we can cater to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you're brand new to the wrestling fandom or you're a seasoned veteran, we hope you feel welcome here. We hope you've had a great time here. We hope you want to continue to have a good time here with us. If you want to keep having a good time with us and you're not entirely sure how to do so, not to worry, my friends, I have you covered. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid color every single time we draw, so you get notifications every single time we drop a new episode. Like, comment, add us to your playlist. Check out our playlist on YouTube. All of the arcs that we follow are organized into their own separate little playlist. So if you want to follow down a specific arc without having to skip around a whole lot, well, you got that option. And in more recent episodes, you get to see our beautiful faces. And in some of the very most recent episodes, you get to see our brand new beautiful layout. It's a great time. So if you want to come see us do our thing, check us out on YouTube, the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. If you are a fan of the audio-only experience, you can find us on 3 of the best places to find your podcast, which are Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Check us out there. Rate us. Review us. I know Spotify just introduced ratings.
They do. Sure that's wild.
Yeah, Google and Apple Podcasts have ratings and I think review system as well. So just hit us up on there. Give us that old 5 stars if you don't mind, and just if you got the option, tell people why you think our show is awesome. You can find us in that wonderful audio only format there. And we just appreciate your listening. And hey, if you want to tell the algorithm these dudes are pretty cool, well, we appreciate that too. We are also a few places you can get in more direct contact with us than just listening to our beautiful voices week after week. First of all, you can find us on Twitter at Noobs and Knox Pod. That's Noobs, the letter N, Knox Pod on Twitter. Check us out there. We drop dank memes. We interact with the broader wrestling fandom on a whole. We post every single time we drop a new episode, so you guys know what the hell's going on. And of course, the big ol' highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Of course, as usual, every Wednesday night on 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS. Turner Broadcasting, baby. It is AEW Dynamite. Is the one weekly show I guarantee that I will watch live every single week. So why not live tweet it? In addition, I'll be live tweeting, of course, AEW, WWE, and Impact Wrestling pay-per-views. So, upcoming is January 29th. Baby, it's the Royal Rumble season, baby. Regardless of any other feelings I have about the WWE, of which I have many, the Royal Rumble is potentially the greatest gimmick match in the history of wrestling. It's always a fun time. 30 men enter, 1 man leaves to get a world championship match at WrestleMania. 30 women enter, 1 leaves to get a women's championship match at WrestleMania.
Indeed.
In addition, we're also got Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. The big boy MMA boys going at it. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title. Always, when the Shield bros get to fighting, always a good time. That and more is upcoming. Again, you can see that on Peacock. AEW March 6, 2022, Revolution, one of their 4 pay-per-views of the year. You can find that on Bleacher Report, traditional pay-per-view outlets. Fight if you use a VPN, or maybe some movie theaters. Take a look at it. Take a look at a Cinemark near you. Right now, we don't have.
It's a pretty great time. I saw Full Gear in a movie theater. It was awesome.
Yeah, and then Impact Wrestling, their next pay-per-view, April 23rd, Rebellion. Again, that is so far in advance. We have no matches for it yet, but we'll keep you up to date on it. You can find that on traditional pay-per-view outlets and on Fight TV if you are so inclined. And that is what is on our Twitter going forward.
Absolutely. So check that out. It's a great time. Austin's usually at the reins of our live tweeting. He's awesome. He's really funny. He's really insightful. I can speak with experience when I say he's a great time to spend your wrestling watching time with, even if it's in a digital only format. And hey, sometimes I take the reins too. I think I'm a pretty good time. Either way, no matter if it's Austin or me at the helm of the live tweeting, check us out there. It's awesome. We also have an email address. You can find us at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word, and this time knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like, recommendations, questions, yelling at us for our hot takes, things you want to see on the show, future arcs, special episodes, or other general wrestling adjacent miscellaneous media, or just if you want to tell us how sweet and beautiful the dulcet tones that come out of our voice every week are. We just love hearing from people. So hit us up at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you there. And finally, we are also on Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.